Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm back with a reading for the Virgo New Moon, and I was really apprehensive to do this reading because the energy honestly is so daunting. There are a lot of I want to say presences here that wants to join the reading, and it is in a really different way than I've been used to. So I was unsure, I kept postponing it. I was like, yeah, I don't think I can handle this. But here I am, and I'm opening up the space, so let's see how this goes. I haven't pulled any cards for this reading. The only message that I got was that the abyss is open. And so I want to see, what does this mean? I have two decks that I'm going to pull from. One is the wooden tarot and the other is the wild unknown. And so what I've been getting is that the wooden tarot is, it is about the wood that already exists. So this is kind of something that has already been created within us. These are timelines that already exist, that we have already been on. And then of course the wild unknown is about new timelines that are coming in. And so I feel specific energies connected to both of these decks already. But I'm just gonna let the cards do the talking a little bit, so let's start to pull. I want to start with the wild unknown. So for the Virgo full moon, what kind of timelines, what kind of archetypes or energies want to make themselves known here? Ooh, this is very interesting. It's that, I hope you can see the cards. I'm far away from the camera, so I can't really change the focus, so I hope you can see them well enough. This is the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and you see it's a spider. This is a feminine energy, and underneath the deck, oh my god, okay, it's the High Priestess here, and then behind the High Priestess, oh Jesus, okay, never mind, is the Father of Swords. And then behind the Father of Swords was the Emperor in reverse. And so wow, this is interesting energies here. So the timeline that are coming in for the Virgo New Moon, the wild unknown, this is a very layered energy is what I feel. Yeah, this is like really powerful energy. It's like, I see it almost like this, the Emperor in the reverse. It goes all the way down into very low vibrational timelines. It has a deep root system is what I'm feeling. And then we have the King energy. Or actually, is it like that? Maybe it's like that. I feel it is like that. This is that energy of the wild unknown that's coming through. And so what we see from this energy is the High Priestess energy. It's an energy that is intuitive, that can read. She reads upwards, she reads higher timelines, and she reads downwards. She reads also denser timelines. It's like, this is people, these are people that choose this timeline, to invest into this timeline, are people that can speak to both demons and angels, is what I'm getting. It's like they are detached enough. This, is in the reverse, the Emperor. To me, a lot of the times it talks about the ego, right? And so it's in the reverse, and so I feel these are people that have let go of their ego enough, you know, their identity enough, to the point that they can, in a sense, invoke both very dark energies and dense energies and very light energies without being trapped by them. Because it's like, if we have a lot of ego, we think that what we feel is us, you know, it's like we take it on as us, and we say, and if we feel the feeling of being powerful, we think like, oh, I'm powerful, I'm great. And oppositely, if we feel the feeling of being powerless, we think that, oh, it's me, you know, I'm powerless, I'm hopeless. And so I feel that this timeline, the wild unknown, is teaching us how to become more detached and to let go of the ego, and that allows us to become more expansive, to kind of tune into many different timelines, you know, many different types of energies. And this is what I feel creates this ability to spin. You know, it's like the high priestess, she's the spinstress, you know, she's the independent woman who's always kind of is always kind of ostracized by the man in power. Like that's typically also the story of the Virgin, right? It's like if the people in power are kind of afraid of the truth, if they want to keep their egos, you know, their identities, and they're like, I am whatever, then they fear this energy of the oracle. You know, it's the energy. This is the original, I feel, Virgo energy. It's the Virgin, the independent woman, completely separated from her own ego, to the point that she can channel every energy without being consumed by it, without being, you know, damaged and darkened by it. So wow, that's a very interesting timeline coming forth there. Let's pull from the wooden tarot now and see what comes through here. So this is something that we already know here. This is a timeline that I'm hearing we're already on it. And so the question is, do we move forward with this wood that we already have, or do we begin to change, to make new investments? So let's see. Okay, it's the 5 of swords in this deck, 5 of plumes. It is a bird that has 5 eggs, and 3 of which are cracked. And so there's no life in the majority of its eggs at this point in time. There has been some losses, is what I feel with this timeline here. Underneath the deck is the God of Stones. It's the Ace of Wands. This is funny because what I feel with this is that this is the big wood. It's like, it's kind of the big dick in a way that I'm feeling here. And it's interesting because it's like, this is something that I guess is very, very, and I'm feeling a lot of like, almost like this shouldn't be spoken about, because it's like, it's almost as if this timeline exists only because there are a lot of, in a sense, hexes around it. It's like, I'm feeling the energy of mass manipulation with this wooden timeline, and it is really the energy, like I said, of the big dick. And I'm just going to use the term wood from now on, I guess, like wood. and then you'll know what I mean. But it's like today everyone wants to be a piece of wood, you know, everyone wants to be the one that spreads the seeds, that spreads their own seeds, you know, their own insides into the world. And not a lot of people want to receive and to understand and to kind of be the environment where something can grow inside. It's like we all want to be masculines, we all want to be wood. And that's kind of what creates fire. It is the essence of the light within our current culture. And what I'm getting is that, you know, if we think about it, light, it needs, you know, light needs wood to be able to burn. It needs something to burn. And so the light, the current light that we are channeling, is based on lack. You know, our kind of current gods, in a sense, they are the masculine gods. They are based on lack. They're lack based. And it's interesting because underneath the deck, underneath the god of stones, was the Empress. And I'm really feeling the energy of the dark feminine with the Empress. And the dark feminine is kind of that energy that lures us in. It's like she lures us in and then she gets us addicted. And that's really what this kind of the artificial matrix is all about. It is about using our, in a sense, animal nature against us. You know, it's like the body loves the combination of fat and sugar because it doesn't exist in nature, and so when we taste it, it's like doom. And if we don't have mastery over that, that gets us addicted. You know, we waste our life just chasing that high. And that's really the essence of the entirety, I feel, of the kind of the artificial matrix. If you look at everything, it's all about that at this point. It's about making us addicted. And the way out of it, I feel, is this energy. It's kind of like being able to see the parts of our nature and learn how to master them. Because when we're on this timeline of just like the wood, you know, we just want to get hard. It's like that's our purpose. We just want to be hard and we want to spread our seeds. And then we need all of these kind of dark feminines, these highs, to get hard. Because if not, we cannot really, it's like we cannot move forward. Because if we're not hard, like really hard and ready to just like fuck some shit up, then we're nothing in this timeline. It's like we don't even exist in this world of the artificial matrix. And so this is and it's interesting because the 5 of Swords, this card, the 5 of Plumes in this deck, there are 3 eggs already cracked, but there are 2 left. So this timeline, you know, isn't burnt out yet. It's still gonna continue. There's still gonna be people on this timeline, but what I'm getting is that it's starting to burn more and more, and it's starting to become kind of like denser and denser. Because there's gonna be more and more like desperation, like this thirst, like, oh, I just need to get high, I need to get high, and I don't know, it's just this frenzied feeling, to be honest. It's like very frenzied energy, and like a feeding frenzy. And this is very dark, you know, this is very much driven by the dark feminine. You know, that that dark side of Venus, like yeah, when things get demonic. So let's see here. I'm just gonna I want to get some advice from each deck. So I think let's ask the High Priestess first what she has to say. What does the High Priestess tell us? So, Seven of Cups in reverse. Underneath the deck is also the Ace of Pentacles. So she's saying, like, don't be blind. Don't just follow your emotions at this point. Question them. Like, look into these cups and look at the archetypes that they hold. Every emotion that we have, you know, is linked to it's a specific chemical within our body. And this chemical, it came into Earth during a specific era. You know, it's like our body, it's really a pearl that has evolved throughout the eras. And all of our feelings, everything, they emerged at specific points, you know, throughout those times. And so understanding our feelings really means that we understand the era each of our feelings belong to, and this is what creates time. So for instance, if I'm channeling very kind of dense and dark feelings, then I'm really just pulling in ancient times. It's like I'm not evolving, I'm reliving old lives because I'm not aware that the feelings that I hold are timelines. You know what I mean? And so it's really, I feel with this card, become aware, understand your feelings, learn about them. And I'm hearing like, but I can't do that. But it's almost as if the more you look at something, the more your mind learns how to unravel that thing. That's the beauty of the mind. You just have to look. You just have to practice looking. And then this kind of an ability naturally unravels. And so this is taking a risk, you know, beginning to invest into this. Maybe that's why I was like feeling this apprehension, like, should I go down this path? Am I ready for this? Because this is wild. It's the wild unknown. It's the snake skin, it's the snake spirit is becoming, is being thrown out of the Garden of Eden, you know, and it's good that we're cautious on this path. It's a path for the humble, is what I'm getting. Yeah, and then let's see for the wood. Was interesting. It's the Four of Wands, and underneath the deck is the Sun. But it's like, this is kind of weird. If you look at this, it's a dog, but its head is a sunflower, and it seems like it's wilting, this sunflower, like there are leaves falling down from it. And so it's interesting. This, what is this advice? Yeah, this is, I don't like this energy. It's very kind of it's an energy that tries to is This is an energy that tries to trick people to stay trapped. It feels like it's almost like a virus. It feels like the energy of a virus. It's like if we when people are on to us, we just mutate, is what I feel. Because with this, the Four of Stones, what I'm getting is that it's just like just create new alliances and new kind of expressions, and then they won't be able to see us. It's the energy of a mutation, kind of like just mutate, just change the form a little bit. It's just like just change the surface. Oh yes, now I understand. We're just changing our surface, and then they won't be able to recognize us, is what I get. And so this actually works when we are just in the wood, because like I said, when we are in the wood, it's very much about identity. It is about, you know, using the right kind of words, labeling ourselves in the right kind of way. It's like marketing, you know, it's strategy, is superficial strategy. But if people aren't able to read energy like this, like if they aren't able to understand that the feelings that they get when they interact with these people are not necessarily their own, or you know, it's like if people are not able to read feelings and detach from feelings, they won't be able to reveal this kind of like dark consciousness. And so they still remain kind of trapped by it, because it just changed its surface. Yeah, and so life continues, is what I feel. This wood timeline is not gonna end yet, but it's like because it has lost quite a lot of power. You know, you see that 3 eggs are already cracked. A lot of people are starting to move into this timeline. They're starting there to awaken their intuition. And because of this, you know, it's almost like the energy that is left within here, it becomes more thirsty, because it's less kind of people to suck from. You know, like I said, it feels very demonic. It's like vampiric. It's like, yeah. And so, again, this timeline is also driven by growth. It needs to grow. It needs to burn. It needs wood to exist. And so when there is less wood, when people step out of this hard state of just like extroverting, things just going one way, you know, it's just about spreading whatever you hold inside. When people step out of that energy and begin to also like digest, pull in, break things apart, this energy, this vampiric energy, it's like it has less space. There are less available spaces for it to exist. And so it densifies, you know, it becomes more karmic. It becomes more frenzied and like desperate, is what I feel. And so the people that remains on this timeline, they will feel like that, more frenzied, more desperate, more just like vampiric and thirsty. And so of course they will create more karmic experiences, because they're not at all in their power anymore. So this is gonna continue, and it's gonna kind of densify, get more karmic. And this, I feel, is gonna also continue, and it's gonna become more expansive, because this is completely opposite. This is like, you know, instead of creating more identity, which is what this one does, it's like adding on accessories. This one, this timeline, is just removing all of the accessories, all of the kind of the matter, you know, the things that links us to the old timeline. And so it becomes so light and so expansive, is what I'm feeling. And so I think for us as individuals, we can really pay attention to the feeling of like thirst, like, oh, I want something. If we have this feeling, it's probably this timeline, the timeline of the wood, that needs to get high or needs to get hard to act. And then the other one is probably gonna bring us, you know, this might give us actually the sense of falling, because it's like when we take off our identity, it's like that part of us, that self, begins to fall. You know, our old self, I said, like, if I say like, oh, I am a nutritionist because that's my education, I'm a nutritionist, then that's my identity. If I stop doing that work, then I'm gonna fall, you know, I'm gonna fall. What am I gonna do? Who am I? And so it can feel like falling. But I think that the key with this energy is that it's not about the label, is really about the feeling. The feeling kind of is behind the label. The feeling is more powerful than the label. And so look at and learn about the feeling instead of having a mind that's only focused on the label, on the surface. So I think that's it for this reading. Yeah, let's see how, if these characters are gonna come in new readings. Yeah, take care guys, goodbye.